Day. We'll go over the schedule first for the rest of this week. On Wednesday, at 1 o'clock, we're going to have a media availability for men's and women's basketball. Uh, you can contact Tim or Anthony for more details. That'll be at 1 o'clock on Wednesday afternoon. And then that evening, the women have their exhibition game against Angelo State at 7 o'clock. On Thursday, the men have their exhibition game against Clayton State. That's also at 7. On Friday, we have a baseball exhibition at 5 o'clock against McLennan Junior College. And volleyball plays Tulane at 6 o'clock that evening. Also this week, Friday through Sunday, the women's tennis team has the Rice Invitational. And then obviously we have homecoming weekend and a football game at 6:30 we'll talk about. One other bit of note of news, in case you didn't hear, the UTSA game time was announced. It's a 6:30 game next Saturday in San Antonio, and that's also going to be on ESPNU. As for today, we have a rather large group on Zoom, and so we're going to follow the format as we've done in the past, which we're going to take our questions from inside in the room, people that are here in person, and then after that, we'll open it up for those of you on Zoom and ask you to raise your hand because, like I said, we have a number of people on there today. So with that, we got Coach Bloomgren, we'll get going.
All right. Good afternoon and happy Halloween, everyone. Having watched the film, I really think what we talked about after that game was exactly right. I couldn't be more proud of our response after halftime and the way we played in that third quarter. Unfortunately, we had dug ourselves a pretty big hole against the defending conference champs, and we battled and we came up short. So I think it's important more than ever for us to focus on us and the things that win football games and what that looks like going forward. That was the challenge to the team, is understanding like how talented we are and how we have everything we need in this room, in this team meeting room when we're meeting as a team. I still believe the Rice Owls are the only team that can beat the Rice Owls, and there's a lot of comfort in that as we go out to work. And I had a great practice yesterday, and I trust that we'll have a great practice today, knowing that everything's still in front of us. So we're awfully excited to host Rhett Lashley's very talented SMU team here this weekend on ESPNU, as Chuck just said. So, again, moving forward and moving to another great opponent coming into historic Rice Stadium. With that being said, another thing that I want to make sure I recognize is legislation making a resolution that November 3rd, this Friday, is Texas High School Coaches Day. And certainly we're appreciative of those relationships that we have with those coaches in this state. We know that we could not have built this team today without them, and we can't do the things we want to do going forward without them. So very thankful for them. With that, I'll open up for any questions.
What stuck out as a big difference playing the second half compared to the first?
You know, I think it's easy to say we played better, but there's some simplicity in that too. It's not like we played any harder. I think we're always playing hard. I think we're always really giving great effort. It's a matter of playing better and being on the details of our assignment. I wish there was something magical that I could tell you I said at halftime. It wasn't that. We made some good adjustments. I think both coordinators, or all three coordinators, did. But at the end of the day, we executed better.
And anything else know about Josh Piercy right now?
No, there's not. I think Josh is the only one who played in the game Saturday that did not practice yesterday. I don't anticipate him practicing today, but he's walking around this building and certainly looks better than maybe it could have been, judging by how bad the injury looked on Saturday.
Coach, I know you're trying to get ready for SMU. Can you kind of go back, I guess, and look at the last game? Tell us what you can take from that game to this game, especially the second half.
Yeah, I mean, that's the good, right? Is like everything we talk about. Like, hey, we are good enough to beat anybody in this conference. And I think you need no more validation than looking at how we played in that third quarter against the defending champs and a really, really good football team. Now, like again, I think when those things happened, when we got the ball, when we came out of halftime, when we put the ball in the box, you got the touchdown, then you get the big turnover and return by Gabe Taylor. I think our sideline, I think everybody believed we were going to win that game. And that was a lot of fun, feeling the momentum shift. And then the one drive in the second half where we didn't get any points, we ended up punting it away. And hey, that's football. Then you score on the first drive of the fourth quarter, and you're like, okay, we're within 2 points. We just got to get a stop. And you know what? They did what championship teams do. Their quarterback made plays with his feet, with his arm, and certainly with his mind, getting them to the right plays. And they found a way to hold the ball for over 8 minutes. And that was the story. I mean, like if we had got it back, I still today believe we would have won that game, but can't change that.
SMU, what do you know about that team?
They're lighting up the scoreboard, and they're not allowing many points to be scored against them. That's the thing that's most evident right now. You look at their last couple games, and I think they've given up 10 points, and scored a ton. And they're a very talented athletic group, really in all phases. Offensively, Preston Stone is doing a great job for them at the quarterback position. They're doing a better job running the ball than I can really remember a Rhett Lashley team doing. More of a commitment to the run game from studying Rhett through the years. And defensively, they're really good. They have explosive players all over the field. They've got transfers from University of Miami, from Liberty, where the defensive coordinator was. I mean, they just got guys that have come in and a couple that are homegrown. They got a 3-year starter coming to them from Stanford. There was a team captain there, starting at the safety position, number 2, who I remember when we started recruiting at Stanford. So, he was a guy that was high on the board forever, and Jonathan McGill. So it's a talented group, and they're well coached. So it is a great challenge for our team. But at the end of the day, it's going to be about us.
I remember Stone was their highest recruit in the rankings era. What does he do so well as he compared to any other quarterbacks that you've seen?
I don't know how to compare him, but he throws a really good ball, and he seems to have complete command of their offense. That's one thing that's very noticeable. You watch even just the start of the Tulsa game. They have a run where they have a loss of maybe 1 or 2 on the play, and the next play he sees exactly what happens coverage-wise. He gets the ball dealt out, and it's a 70-yard touchdown or whatever it is, and then it's a couple quick strikes, and man, they scored, I think it was 28-3 at the end of the first quarter, and it was a few more points shortly thereafter. So they're really efficient, they're really good, and they got playmakers.
And is their tempo still in there? Is it compared to others? And you think you've handled that tempo better?
Yeah, I think we're better at handling tempo than we've ever been, and there will certainly be elements this Saturday.
If you could talk a little bit about their defense, looks like they've held the last 3 opponents to 10 points or fewer.
Yeah, I just think it's an electric group with a good defensive scheme. I think you look at their tackling leader; he's listed as their backup linebacker in Kobe Wilson. The defensive tackle, number 40, everybody will see him as a DeBraylon Carroll type player. He's 6 foot, 278 pounds, and explosive off the ball. He's great at separating from double teams. He plays one guy and pries people apart. And then they've got some big, long dudes playing defensive end. It's going to be a great matchup for Jack Bradley that I can't wait to watch this Saturday. Every time, the tight ends to the field, he's going to be lined up on him. Those safeties, those corners, they're really good football players.
This is a good time, I guess, for your tight ends. Jackson here, Bowden Groom last week had a good game. Can you talk about how they have really been a part of the offensive scheme and structure?
Oh, they absolutely have. Actually, it was really fun. We had them on the radio show last night. Maybe a week too late after National Tight Ends Day was last week, I believe. But nevertheless, they both had some good performances in these last couple games. I talk about it all the time. I think Jack is a really complete wide tight end. He blocks like an offensive lineman. He does all of the grimy stuff in run and pass protection, but then he's catching balls down the field too. Bowden is a great F tight end. He's everything you want. He's a willing blocker, which I think in this offense doesn't just mean you're a willing blocker. It means you can also move people and get your job done in the run game. And then he's also a receiving threat. He's a matchup issue. Anytime anybody wants to put a linebacker or safety on him. And, I thought that play that he and JT made in the third quarter the other day was exceptional. Right after Gabe's interception gets us down to the 4-yard line or 3-yard line, we have a negative run. I thought Tui made a great call. They played it pretty well. And JT threw a ball where only Bowden could go get it, and Bowden went down and grabbed it. So those guys, there's a lot of trust right now in the media factor. I think what Jack does in the short yards and goal line stuff, the way he blocks is what popped him open for that long pass at Tulsa. So a lot of cool stuff going on in that room.
Mike, I wanted to ask about your short yardage offense. I call it your jumbo package. I'm not sure what you call it. But it seems like a lot of teams have problems converting when you have the third and really short and fourth and really short. But not only are you guys able to convert it with the run, you're able to do certain things out of your package. And I'm just wondering, is like your play action passes and the boom going over the top, is that something you guys can only kind of plan for this season, or is it something you just kind of grew out of seeing what the personnel can do?
Yeah, that's something that we started doing at Stanford in 2011, and it's just been very, very good. And we've continued to grow the package here at Rice and our efficiency, and it's been off the charts. I think when you watch the NFL right now, you hear everybody talking about the brotherly shove or the tush push or whatever they're calling it in Philly, and it's incredibly efficient. And that's exactly what we try to be in that situation. We just we'd rather give the ball to a running back than JT in that situation for various reasons. But, Jalen Hurts squats 550 pounds and, once that smoke. And right now we would rather give it to a back that's trained to run than have JT do that. But similar concept. I remember Dante Scarnecchia when he was a longtime Patriots offensive line coach, and he was talking about short yardage. It was an object in motion tends to stay in motion, going back to Newton there. And so that's just the premise. If we can get the first meaningful touch by getting off on the cadence and getting that movement, we trust our backs to stay on their track and do whatever it takes to get 1 yard. And that's what it's designed to do. It's not designed to get 3 or 4. It's nice when it gets 11 or 12 like it did in the last game when Dean reads it correctly. But we just want that yard, and we want a new set of sticks. I heard Nick Sirianni talk about it the other day when somebody was asking him about the comfort of knowing they can go for it and get that 4th and 1 all the time. He said, I always think of it as 1st and 9 instead of 1st and 10. I thought that was a really interesting way to package it.
Yeah. If the event you don't have Josh Piercy, can you talk about Van Heitman and Jordan Campbell and some of those other guys and what you've seen from them?
Yeah, I think there's a couple things that could come into play. If Josh is not playing, then, you have the ability to put Damone there as well. He's been playing mostly end, but he could play that rush position. Van's doing some really good things. I think Van's been growing and coming up in this system for a number of years, and it's great to see that the trust that he's earned from this staff. And then Jordan is a guy that's, we've tried to get on the field in pass rush situations for a long time. He's been part of our speed package on defense that goes in the game and has the ability to rush the passer. And I think he's at a point now where he has enough physicality and enough trust earned to be able to be a first and second down player there.
Coach, at this time, early in the week, do you expect Josh to actually play? Do you think he will play?
I don't know which way I'd bet on it right now, but if he's not ruled out, we're going to do it. We got a great medical team here, starting with Deanna Doheny, and the more time we can give her and to get that voodoo magic going, whatever we can get, as we talk about Halloween, whatever we can do to get Josh Piercy back on the field. We know we're a better team with him. He's one of our leaders, so we'd love to have him available, whether that means playing 50 snaps instead of 70 snaps, whatever that looks like. But I really wouldn't even lay odds right now because I think he's just come so far from Saturday to Sunday, Sunday to Monday, Monday to today. I just saw him in the training room again, walking around, no boot, nothing. He's done toe raises, which is a good indicator that you're going to be able to push off and start cutting. So those things are coming. We've certainly had people that couldn't do that till Thursday playing a game. So I just could not rule him out at this time and won't.
Was it a foot injury or ankle injury? What was it exactly?
Yeah, it was a lower leg injury down there.
Okay. Coach, just your thoughts on what the atmosphere is going to be like on Saturday. You're talking about homecoming. It's a big conference game, and you're playing SMU.
Yeah, it's a big deal, right? Like all the historical rivalry ties. So many of our people know this game and remember this game from every year they could have went to Rice, and that's really cool. So it's great to be playing them. It will be a lot of fun for having the homecoming people come back, all the different parties that are scheduled. I think that's going to be great. Just putting those fans in the stands and creating a home field advantage against a very good football team. And then also knowing that this is, I think, our 4th game in a row of national TV, one of the ESPN networks, and either the 3rd or the 4th. And we got next week, as Chuck just announced, for UTSA as well. So we're not only hitting the people that are in the stands, but those people that come will give us a home field advantage. So we need them there. But if they can't make it to Houston this weekend, it's awesome. They can watch it on linear cable.
Okay, Coach, one final question for me. You mentioned the matchup with your tight ends. What's another key matchup there? What keep an eye out for Saturday?
The thing I told the team is that this game's going to be won in the trenches, and so many games are won in the trenches, right? Like when you think about how this is going to play out, number one, they're running the ball better than they've been for years, or more committed to doing it. So we've got to make sure we're doing a great job on base down, stopping the run. For us, we're starting to run the ball better every week with more efficiency and having explosive plays mixed in there. I think our runners are doing a great job. We talk a lot about Dean, but the game that Juma had and the leadership that he showed last game was incredible. And then you get down to pass protection. And so, can we keep JT clean? I mean, there's a lot of examples of when we do that, we can have great success. I think we're number 14 in America and giving up the least sacks per pass. So we're doing some good things there, and I want us to do even better against a front that's got a ton of sacks, and you look at Tulane. Tulane came into our game averaging 3 sacks and had 5 against Ole Miss, and we only gave up 1, and only 3 other times did they get a paw on JT. So if we can do that, we give ourselves a chance. And then the other side of that coin is how much can we hit Preston Stone? How uncomfortable can we make him in this game? And that every hit on a passer is cumulative. So starting from the very first snap of the game to the end of the game, how many hits can we get on Preston Stone? And so we know that there's going to be explosive playmakers on both sides that want to make plays down the field and great running backs involved on both teams. But what we do at the line of scrimmage is going to allow them to get started or not. And the same will be true with our offense.
Any other questions?
Well, I thought, number one, we went into that game starting incredibly fast, right? We were outscoring opponents in the first quarter 90-13, and that's not the way it went. We were outscored, I think, 14-7 on Saturday. Is that correct? 10-7 on Saturday. So we didn't win that battle, and then we gave up more points in the second quarter. So you go in the locker room, and we talked about starting fast, staying focused, and finishing strong. Well, we didn't have the opportunity to do those things. We didn't start fast, and so it put us in a situation where, look, we didn't go to the plan we wanted to do. This didn't go the way we wanted in the first half. But this is the formula to get this back and to outscore them in the second half. And, man, we came close, right? And that's the cool thing is that they responded to that challenge. There's so many teams that it's just easier to sack your bats, right? We played terrible in the first half. Let's mail it in, and let's get beat by 50. And that's not what we did. We went out and played like I think we're capable of and scored touchdowns on 3 or 4 offensive drives in the second half. That's good football. Anytime you can do that defensively, we hold them to a 3-and-out. We get a pick that almost is a pick six, gets down to the 3-yard line. Those are the kind of things that win, and that was, again, against a very, very good team in this conference. So those are the things that make me realize that everything we need is right here. It's kind of confirmation. All right. Thank you all.
Jack, let me ask you about last game to this game, and obviously a tough stretch of games. That one against Tulane last week that you lost, this one against SMU. What did you learn about yourself against Tulane? And now you're in the conference that you're going to have to take to the SMU game.
Yeah, Tulane coming here, it was definitely a big challenge for us. We knew, they had a history of success going back to last year, conference champs. So we knew the opportunity that we had, and I think, like Coach Flynn was talking about, the first half didn't go our way. And what we took from that was, okay, this is the situation, didn't go our way. What can we do now? And so that second half response is the team that we know that we are. So I think that's kind of what we learned as a team. And for me to be a part of that is it's awesome. It's exciting to know that that's what we can do. And I think SMU coming in is a similar challenge. They're a very talented team. Definitely have played well over this season. So I think we can take what we did in that second half to Tulane, knowing what team we are, and we'll be able to have success this coming Saturday.
Dallas guy yourself playing SMU. Can you discuss with your family ties to SMU and how big this game is for you? And understand you had a little trash talk with your family going.
Yes, sir. So my grandfather played center for them back in the 70s. My great-grandfather was part of their Four Horsemen, I think it was called, with Doak Walker. So definitely have a lot of ponies in my family, and there's a lot of pressure for me when I was getting recruited to be a pony, but that just makes this game more exciting. So I get to go against SMU. I think I'm trying to get my grandpa to come out to the game, so he'll be in the stands. So I'm definitely excited to play against them. I know a lot of their players got to go against Preston Stone in high school, so definitely a lot of ties to their team, and so it's exciting to go against them this Saturday.
I know they've got a lot of portal guys on defense, but just conceptually, what do they like to do and what challenges do they present defensively?
Yeah, I think up front they're definitely a lot bigger than what we have seen over this season. So that's going to be a great challenge for us, and I'm definitely excited for that. They got a lot of speed in the secondary, a lot of experienced guys back there, just from like you said, a lot of transfers from other schools that they played a lot of snaps for the schools that they were at. So it's definitely going to be a challenge for us, but I think that they haven't really seen an offense like us, so that's going to prove to be an advantage for us, and we'll take that going into Saturday.
You're going to get your share of snaps because you guys have been utilized. You're going to be utilized a lot more in this offense. Kind of talk about that. Preparing for games like this, week in, week out, in the American Athletic, especially this week against SMU.
Yeah, something that we talk about as a team is knowing your role, having passion for your role, and so that's kind of what I try to do week in, week out. Is in practice, I'm doing everything I can to be doing my job to the best of my ability. And I think I tell that to the other tight ends in our room, and I try to make sure that that's a focus for us as a team. Is just having that passion for your role. So whatever snaps I get during the game, I'm ready for the look they're going to give on defense, what technique I'm going to use. That's a credit to the coaches that are preparing us for that. So Coach Reed, definitely a huge part in helping me with that. But it just comes back, knowing your role, having a passion for it, and that's going to help you have success.
Where have you seen Bowden improve the most at tight end, and how happy? And it was a fantastic play. I understand you were a little, your vision is obscured, but y'all had a good celebration on that play.
Yeah, no, I'm super excited for him. That was his first touchdown as a right side, so that's a huge thing for him. And he's come so far. I mean, the plays he's made this year is drastic difference than when he first got here. So that's a credit to him and how hard he's worked over the summer, spring ball, all that, trying to get to where he is now. So it's so exciting, when you have a guy like that who works hard, being able to score a touchdown. It's what it's all about.
Jack, Bowden was up here last week. We asked him about his growth, and he wanted to give you all the credit. What's it like to have a teammate kind of give you high praise like that?
Yeah, I mean, it just encourages you. I try to be a leader for our tight ends. I do have the most experience out of the room. So my job is to share that with them. And so I think Bowden, when he first got here as a transfer, that was my number one goal. I hosted him on his recruiting visit, and I was able to kind of give him the lay of the land. And then from there, it was just us two kind of working it out. I was trying to share with him everything that I knew. And so to hear him, give me that credit, and, it's really encouraging. And so I think, that's a testament to our culture as a team. It's a testament to the guys in the tight end room that are willing to listen to me. They're willing to get better and do what they can. So it was really cool to hear that.
And then some friendly competition. What was the conversation in the room like when you were able to leak out and catch that long pass a couple weeks ago? Not really your traditional role every Saturday.
Yeah. So I think it was funny after that game. I tied Bowden in yardage for that game, but he had a couple more catches. So, I like to mess with him. I'm trying to get the same amount of yards as you, even though I'm not catching that many passes. But it's definitely a credit to our coaches. Putting me in that position on that short yardage play. A lot of teams are focused on stopping us from running, getting that 1 yard, and that just sets me up to make that play. So it's definitely exciting, being able to be in that package, and all the tight ends. We're trying to do whatever we can to help this team.
Richard? Yeah, Jack, since everybody's talking about the tight ends and the coach is talking about it, is it easy to stay engaged within the Rice offense, knowing that tight ends will be targeted and you're not just out there blocking on every throw?
Yeah, no, I think that's definitely fair to say. A lot of tight ends you'll see are pure blockers, and I think that's not the case for the Rice offense. We're able to get out and catch those passes for long yardage. Elijah Maharo, had his first catch as a right style this past game. So it's not just Bowden getting catches, it's all of us. And I think, that's something that I really appreciate about our offense. I really appreciate about our coaches. We're going to spread the ball around. So that's definitely an exciting thing. And that doesn't mean, I don't love blocking. Putting a guy in the dirt is just as much fun as catching a big pass. So either way, we're doing whatever we can to help our offense have success. Thank you.
Career high tackle game on Saturday. I know you'd rather it come in a win, but anything different that went into that, the flow of the game, and how did that feel?
It felt good personally, but at the end of the day, like you said, we didn't get the win. I know the biggest thing is winning, so that's really what I'm trying to pride myself on right now, 4-4. So just trying to look forward and just trying to make plays for my team, make the right plays, and be in position to just do my job.
Being a Dallas area guy, any other special motivation going against them? Any of their guys, SMU?
Yeah, a lot of people like, Miguel, Preston Stone. I had a chance to play with him my senior year in high school, but decided to go back to McKinney Boyd for my senior year. So it's going to be a little nice competition out there, a little nice, got a lot of family out there, got a lot of people that's coming to see from the area. So it means a lot to go out there and get a win. That was my first offer, and then Rice came along and offered me, and I committed to Rice. And one of the first things I said to my pops is that I wish we played SMU. And, 3-4 years later, we finally got the chance. So it's time to ball.
And on their offense, since you know a little about them personally, what do they like to do, and what have you seen some strengths of their offense?
Thing is, I feel like they're a pretty balanced team. Got 3 running backs who's really running the ball hard. They, got a lot of yards per carry, and so really they're gonna be a challenge for us. They also got a quarterback back there who can make plays, as we all can see. So, like Coach Bloom said, really just putting that pressure on Preston Stone, make sure he don't want to play against the right side defense. So I feel like we take that out, the main piece of their puzzle, then we can just remember all of them.
Clay, I hear you fire for one play SMU. So I don't know if you guys still talk on the phone or not, but what have the text messages been like this week?
Man, I try to stay away from the text messages. I try to stay away from talking to him. After the game, we'll chop it up, but I feel like I need a week to get my mind ready to go out there and defeat them.
Talk about that. I mean, you don't want to talk to them. You don't want to have any kind of lunches with them, anything. You don't want to break bread. Talk about that playing against SMU.
I feel like it's real personal. This is one of them games, 10 years from now, looking back, they're going to be like, we beat you in this game, or I'm like, we beat you in that game. So this is one of them games that mean a lot to me, and it's going to feel great going out there and getting a win, especially for our season. Trying to get us up to, bowl game, trying to get to a conference championship, trying to reach all the goals. I feel like all our goals are still right in front of us. So just going out there being 1-0 every day, just winning is going to mean a lot.
SMU's top team in the conference right now, and obviously you guys have been watching film on them. What is it you know about them, especially from your position, and how can you guys put yourselves in position to win that game?
really, we're gonna put ourselves in position by just playing well, and just doing our job like the coach was saying. I feel like their defense got a lot of talent, a lot of people from the area out there. Jahari Rogers, Brandon Crossley, like I said, Jonathan McGill. They all from the area, all play DB, all came from the same place. But really, we're gonna have to outperform that, especially their secondary. Our secondary, we're gonna have to come ready to play. We're gonna come ready to stop the quarterback. Had to really come down and fit in the run game. Had to be ready to keep the lid on the defense. So it's gonna be a pretty well game, man. I feel like we got a good game plan for them.
Clay, with a win over Houston on the board, how sweet would it be to kind of work on a Texas sweep and get a win over SMU too, with UTSA coming up?
I feel like it would be good, just to know that a lot of Texas teams can't mess with us, and I feel like we got to put that on display this weekend. We got to keep moving forward. So, couldn't come up with the win versus Texas. Got the win versus SMU next on the schedule. So, I feel like it's pretty personal for both sides. A lot of bragging rights on the line.
And then you talked about all your goals still being ahead of you. Any added pressure after a couple losses to make this week the week where you get right?
I feel like it's a lot of added pressure. I feel like our back is slowly getting on that wall. So, we're going to have to fight. We're going to have to dig in. We know we got, people. I don't think nobody really think that we can win out. And I feel like we got the team to do it. We know we got the team to do it. We know we play the right ball. We can do that. So, really, our goal is just going 1-0 every day. When that Saturday comes, make sure we go 1-0 all those Saturdays to just get to where we want to get to.
Clay, you've had a breakthrough season this year. What do you attribute your outstanding play to?
Really just patience. I remember coming in my freshman year talking to Coach Bloom. I feel like I was ready to play, but they don't think I was, and looking back, I don't really think I was either. Came in, didn't play that year, got to watch. Second year came in, special teams, played a lot of special teams, got a feel for the game. Then last year just season injured, really just got injured, so the red shirt. So it's just really being patient, just learning from the guys, in my class and the class above me that's been on the field for years and got to really experience it. I was telling them about the Texas game, my first time playing, first time starting the game. Very first play, I was nervous. I was like, man, they're gonna run my way. I was overthinking. I was like, I ain't been in a situation since high school, but I really feel good to really start playing again and, just playing with the guys who just brought me up, like Gabe, Trady, Sean, who got experience in the game, man. Just, guide me along with them.
I asked Coach this question about what the atmosphere is going to be like on Saturday, but from a player's perspective, what's it going to be like? It's going to be a good crowd out there. It's homecoming, big matchup, good conference game, and they're playing the Mustangs of SMU.
I feel like as a player, it's gonna feel good. Just stepping on that field, two Texas teams. I figure they probably gonna travel a lot of their fans. Dallas right down the road. I feel like it's gonna be a lot of pressure out there. A lot of but pressure make diamonds, or pressure gonna bust pipes. And Saturday is gonna tell the tale who's most prepared, who's ready to win the game, who's gonna play more physical, more dominant.